Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the gay LGBT drama called Punch that came out this year in the United States. I will be doing a spoiler-ish review. I'm not going to give away everything in the movie, but I will be touching on certain points that you may find spoilery. If you are not okay with that, watch the movie first and come back and watch my review afterwards. In the meantime, I will be giving you my thoughts and opinions on what I thought about the movie. And so here we go. So the movie is about Jim, who is a teenage boxer with a very promising career, and he is living under the demands of his alcoholic and very, very demanding father. Jim develops a relationship with a male classmate, and because of their relationship slash friendship, they have to navigate a lot of the waters of homophobia, isolation, as well as the very brutal, dangerous town that they live in, as they're not very accepting of homosexuality or any kind of kinship between two men that is past the traditional norms of broski. As Jim slowly unravels throughout the movie, he realizes that even though he is a very strong individual physically, he realizes how weak he actually is when it comes to the emotional aspect of dealing with being an outsider and in a marginalized group. He's also discovering himself through the process. This movie is directed by Welby Ings and is shot in the rural area of New Zealand on the backdrop of some beautiful black sand beaches, which are just stunning to look at. The movie stars Jordan Oosterhoff as Jim and Conan Hayes as Whetu, who you may have seen briefly in Sweet Tooth Season 2, the Netflix original series. And it also stars Tim Roth, which is probably the biggest name actor in the movie, and you may know him from the She-Hulk show, and he played Abomination. While Jordan as Jim holds his own throughout the film, it's really Whetu that is the emotional anchor of the movie. Jim and Whetu have really great chemistry, and as the film progresses, you really can see the walls start coming down slowly the more they interact with each other and the more they get to know each other as individuals. It really is a slow burn romance throughout the movie that builds to a will they won't they vibe for most of the film, but once they make it to the next step, it really is really charming how their friendship naturally evolved into something romantic. Tim Roth plays Stan, which is Jim's dad, and he does play the alcoholic father with the sensibility of a man who's battling his demons, mainly being alcoholism. The film's visual style is decent. Welby Ings does a great job at capturing those intimate moments that convince you that the bond between Whetu and Jim is a legitimate and palpable bond. I particularly liked the shots at the beach, as even though it was just a beach, there was just a certain surreality, I don't know if that's a word, to them being there and how beautiful it really was. While there is a romantic aspect in the movie primarily focuses on the growth and struggle of each one of the individual guys. Jim with his boxing career and the trials and tribulations he has to deal with not only taking care of his father, but also trying to excel in life. And Whetu with, the abandonment that he suffered throughout life, as well as the struggle of trying to express his gender in a hypermasculine society. The juxtaposition of the two lifestyles, showing how Jim and Whetu are living in completely different worlds but are able to connect at the human level, is kind of beautiful. That Jim, while he lives in a hypermasculine society, he doesn't subscribe 100% to that society that he's boxed into. Boxed into, oops. No pun intended. It's actually very charming that Jim is so nice and sweet, given that he lives in a world that pretty much promotes the opposite of that expectation of him. Whetu, on the other hand, is a free spirit, and unfortunately, the fact that he doesn't have an anchor in his life leads him I mean, it's tragic, but it also leads him to really, really dangerous situations that he shouldn't be putting himself in. While the movie was entertaining, there were some harrowing scenes that I really didn't care for, particularly one that, Jesus, I didn't need a trigger warning for, but I can imagine somebody else may see this scene and be very triggered. It's kind of telegraphed when the scene is going to happen, so you could probably skip over it. I just didn't feel like I needed to see this scene to the degree that they showed it. It made me really uncomfortable. At least Jim and Whetu's connection is handled very delicately, which I did appreciate in the movie. While we come around to the end of the film, it did feel anticlimactic, but not dissatisfying. I know those two things conflict with each other a bit, but I felt like, okay, like this movie wasn't a waste of my time. There's something beautiful in the relationship between Jim and Whetu, and so I was okay with the film's shortcomings. And while this movie isn't a happy movie, the charming aspect of their relationship, I think, is worth your time. On my rating scale, I will give Punch a 5 out of 10 for good acting, a interesting choice in locale, and for some of the themes that the movie presented. I can't say it's one of the most entertaining films. I thought it was good enough. If you like this review, or if you've already watched Punch, let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear your opinion on the movie, and maybe I could see it from a different perspective if I didn't perhaps appreciate it as much as I could have. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. I'll continue to post weekly. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it so much, and I truly hope that you enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.